Welcome to Off the Rails Tech, and this is the 6th video in our Django series, and we're going to be doing something we should have done a long time ago. This is something that should have been done in video 1. It's something I neglected to do. It's a very good idea to do this, especially when you start a project, and that is to use Git for version control. This could have saved my last video when I had made the mistake of recording and then afterwards realizing that there was no audio in my recording. I could have used Git just to roll back to before I recorded and just start over and be able to show you guys all the steps I did and go through them without having to try to remember everything I changed, undo it, and it just becomes a mess like last video. So we are going to install Git. We're taking a little bit of a break from our normal track here, but that's okay. And I do apologize. I know it's been a little while since I posted a video. You know, the Memorial Day holiday kind of threw me off, and I've just been kind of dealing with some stuff at home, but I hope to get back on track, posting every week. So, version control. We're going to use Git. It's the most popular version control for programming by far. It is the de facto standard of today, of 2018, and probably will be for the foreseeable future. It has long since displaced things like SVN. Anyway, so we are going to source control our project in Git, and I'm actually going to put this up on GitHub so you guys can see. I think my last video I forgot to show you. There was a template that I completely forgot to show you guys that was created, and it's been so long I don't even remember what that template was. Either it was a new template or a template I changed. What did we add? Dish, was that the one? I think this is the new template. Anyway, I'm going to be putting this up on GitHub. You guys can get access to it. I'll put the link in the description. You can download this or look at all the code. So let's get rolling with Git. The first thing, this is going to be a little bit of a learn as we go. It's been kind of a while since I've done this. You know, I don't program professionally. This is more of a hobby for me. I mean, I do a little bit of programming, but that's more scripting. I'm more of a I'm a sysadmin in my day job, so you know, if I do any programming, it's usually scripting to automate server tasks and stuff like that. I don't write web apps, but I do enjoy it. So anyway, it's been a while since I've done a lot with this, so there might be a little bit of live learning. Kind of the sense, not the sense. Kind of the idea for the channel originally was to not really script and plan a lot of things out. Like, obviously have an idea of what I want to accomplish, but not like have completely gone through it and nailed it down and polished it. I really want it to be where I bring you along with like the learning experience. Anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is a git init, and that's going to initialize the directory we're in as a Git repository, hopefully. Initialize. Okay, so we now have an empty Git repository. You might notice, I don't know if it makes a Git ignore file by default. It does not. I'm gonna ignore some files. I'm gonna ignore obviously this DB SQLite. We don't want that to be a file that we put in our source control. We don't really need to, well, we can source control manage pi. I'm gonna take settings out for now. Actually, you know what? We'll leave it in. In a later video, we're gonna do something like the secret key if this was like a live, you know, web app that I was putting out there for the public, you would never ever want this in your source control, and you would never ever want to like leave it in at first and then later take it out, because anyone, if you put your Git like up on GitHub or something where it's publicly available, anyone can track all the way back to the beginning of your very first commit, and you know this will be visible in it. I don't really care, because this is not anything like this, is just running on my local machine, and it's only running when I'm doing these tutorials, really. So I don't really care that this is going to be in version control. We will take it out just so I can show you how that's done. I don't think we'll get to that this video. And the other thing that we will do is like when we I do want to make a video near the end of the series where we actually hook this up to like a real Postgres database, and so you'd have to have the username and password for the database. Obviously you don't want that to be in your source control. And also another thing you can do, so basically what we're going to eventually do is we'll create like a JSON file, right? And we're going to make that JSON file, we'll call it like secrets.json. We'll just throw it in restaurants, and we're going to read from that file, and that file is not going to be in source control, and that file is going to have different settings where we're just going to read them right in the settings file and grab them, and that way there we could have different settings. We could have like development settings and production settings and stuff like that. But anyway, let's just get going with the source control here. So we want to create a git ignore file. And we want it to be a hidden file. So we're going to call it .git ignore, right? Do you want to add the following file to Git? No, because we don't want the ignore file to be tracked. Because Git automatically knows about the ignore file. So we have git ignore. We should. There it is. So we don't want to track db.sqlite3. And is there anything else we don't want to track? Static, do we want to use template tags? For now, we're going to leave everything else. I might regret that, but whatever. We don't want to track db. Yeah. What is this? I hope this isn't like a external libraries. I don't see that .idea. I don't know what that is. Let's ignore that. That's a directory. I wonder if that's what this is. Manage file review templates. That's all that's in here. Alright, that should be it for our git ignore. Now we have to add stuff to our repository. PyCharm is great because it has Git, has tools built right into it. So you can just right click, go to Git, click add. So we're gonna basically it's adding. So you notice everything turned green. That's because it just added everything that was red was not in the Git repository. Now all this stuff that's green is in the Git repository, but we haven't committed it to the repository yet. So we still have to commit. So we can do commit directory, why not? And so here it's given us a list of everything that it's gonna commit. We could uncheck things that we don't want committed, but I'm fine with all this. We don't want git ignore though. I don't know. That shouldn't have been in there anyway. Interesting. We might have to kind of tell it not to do that. But yeah. So commit message. We'll just call this initial commit, if I could spell, which I can't. Initial, still wrong. Oh, I don't know how to spell, so Google will tell us. Initial. Did you mean? Yes, I sure did. Thank you, Google. There we go. Initial commit. And so you want your commits to be kind of descriptive of what you've done and what you've changed in the code. But usually the first commit is usually just initial commit. So we're going to commit all this. You added 199 added. Blah, blah. Would you like to review them? No, I do not want to review those. Thanks. Those to-do things, I'm assuming, are stuff in probably our CSS framework that we downloaded. So you look at to-do, yeah, it's all stuff that's, you know, it just picks up, it looks for the word to-do in your code. Obviously, this is a framework that, you know, we just download off the internet, and there's apparently 119 to-do items still in this framework, but we're not gonna worry about those. We don't care. There's an awesome tool out there from Atlassian. It's called SourceTree. I highly recommend it. You can get it for free. You just gotta register your email. It doesn't cost anything. It's a great visualization for Git. So I'll show you that. I already have it installed on my machine. And I have a little banking app, personal finance app that I was working on. But we want to add our new repository. So we're going to click open, and we are going to go to the D drive. And off the rails tech, video tutorials. This is it right here. All right. So this is showing us all of the files that have been staged. This is showing us unstaged files. So by default, it looks like it ignored these .pyc files, which is fine by me. And we can look at our branches. This is really probably the pending files sorted by file says, unstage all, stage one, commit options, working copy. How come I can't see branches? Well, let me select branches. Why not? Commit options. Did we not commit? Commit failed. 0 files committed. 188 files failed to commit. Well, I don't know why that happened, but we'll just commit over here. And this will actually give us a chance to unstage our git ignore, because we do not want this file in our repository. Everything else, I think, is good. So we'll just call this initial commit, and we will commit here. And please tell me who you are. Git config. username. Really? So what is it? Git config. I forget what it was. It was git config global username, something like that. Setting your username in Git. Come on. Ah, really? Git config -- global username. Git config -- global user.name. Right? Is that how? We'll do off the Rails tech. Come on, really? User email. I have to give you guys an email. Okay, well, user email off the Rails tech at offtherailstech.com, which is an email address that doesn't exist, although I do own that domain. I could make that a real email. Let's see if that works. Hey, now it's happy. Now we have our master branch. We see our initial commit over here. And there we go. So anything in green is something that was added, and anything in red, which obviously we're not going to see at the moment, is something that was deleted. So I'll do you a quick little test here. Let's see. Let's go to our views maybe. And we'll just throw in a comment, and we'll delete we'll delete a comment. We'll change this comment. How about we'll say, this is the main list for our restaurants. Right? So we made a change, we hit save. You'll notice that views.py is now blue, where everything else is just white. That's letting you know that these changes have not been committed. So this file has uncommitted changes. So we're going to go ahead and go to Git. We'll commit file. We're going to say updated comment. We'll just hit commit. And now this file is no longer blue, so we know that this has been added to our repository and committed. And if we go look over here, we'll have to refresh the view. If I go to view, refresh, you'll now see up here we have, it says updated comment, and over here it shows a list of all the files. If there's more than one file, we only change one file, but it would list all the files that have been changed, and then you can click on them and see exactly. So we deleted this line here and we added this here. Now if we wanted to go back, if we said, you know what, we don't want this anymore, this was a horrible change, let's go back to where we were, you could just click on the commit that you want and just do check out. Or you could reverse commit. Let's check out. Check out. Let's see what that does. Checking out this commit will create a detached head and you'll no longer be on any branch. No, that's not that. That's not what we want at all. We do want to be on a branch. So to fall back to a previous commit, I think you would just do reverse commit. You sure you want to create a new commit reversing all the changes? No? Maybe we don't want a reverse commit. Tag, archive, branch. Reset. Here's what we want to do. We want to reset the current branch to this commit. So we're in the master branch. I'm not going to get into branches in this video, but you can have different branches, which is nice. Maybe I'll do next week, talk about branches a bit. So this is what we want to do. We want to reset to this commit. So we basically want to go back in time, mix, keep working copy, but reset index, keep all local changes, discard all working copy. We'll go with mixed, see how that works. So you can see it deleted that initial commit, not the initial, but it deleted that second commit that we did. And if we go back over here and we were to, this is now blue again, right? If we were to, so it basically put us back, but it didn't put this text back. This is now blue again. I think, interesting. It didn't work quite the way I thought it would. Check out archive branch, reset current branch to this commit. So it didn't put this file back. So it doesn't work quite the same as like checking out a branch. Interesting. I wonder if I just close this file. Can I just do roll back? Show history, revert. There we go. Now we have our old text here, and this is no longer blue. Cool. Yeah, like I'm no expert in Git, so I am kind of just trying to remember from when I've done this before. So we went back. Perfect. Now I'm going to throw this up on GitHub, and to do that, I'm going to have to create a repository, and we will call this, let's just call it restaurant tutorial, or restaurant tutorial sounds good. Restaurant, I guess it doesn't matter. We'll do tutorial, restaurant tutorial. Restaurant Django tutorial? Yeah, why not? Django tutorial, building a restaurant review app. There. So we're gonna MIT license, yeah, that's fine. Create a new repository. So it automatically made an initial commit for us. This is going to get tricky because now we have two Git repositories. Yeah, this is going to get a little sticky, but hey. So now we need to add a new remote origin, and we want that to be our GitHub right here. So we're going to use this code here. Well, not code really, but command. Boo, 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 boo. So we're going to do git remote add. We're not going to call this origin because we already have something called origin that was created when we just did our git init. So we're going to say add, we'll just call it GitHub. That's going to be the name of this remote. What's the word? Remote something. Remote. What do they call these? Just remotes, I guess. I want to paste. What the frig? Something didn't work here. That paste did not work. I don't know what's going on with this. Can't really paste into this terminal, which is annoying. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and do https://github.com off the rails tech restaurant Django tutorial. Can you go away? I don't really care about your updates at the moment. tutorial. There we go. Okay. So we added our remote. There it is here. Now we want to push everything that we just did up to GitHub. So let's see. I can probably do that two ways. One is through the command line here. Another way would be to just through this GUI here. I could just do push. I want to push master to master, but I do push to GitHub. Yes. Push tags, force push. This is login username. So off the rails tech password. Login required. Did not like that. I wonder. Let's try that again. This is the only thing I hate about this tool is that, so I put this in and now it won't let me change it. And I forget there's some like setting somewhere funky that you have to go and fix. I'm not gonna go through that right now, so we'll just do it via the command line. Git push GitHub master. So we're pushing to GitHub the master branch. Whoops. username or email? My username, right? Off the Rails Tech. Copy. One or more errors occurred. Username. Updates were rejected because the remote contains work that you do not have locally. This usually is caused by another repository pushing to the same route. You may want to first enter the remote changes, e.g. git pull, before pushing again. This is getting interesting. Okay, pull. Alright, so there, we now have this license file that GitHub automatically created, and yeah. So we have GitHub master and master, this is R, and then it merged. So basically, here's our initial commit, then it pulled the GitHub master, which only had this license file, and then it automatically merged the GitHub master into our master, which is fine. So now we want to push this all back up to GitHub. So push to GitHub, yes, master, master, push. It does not. Let's see if it works. Hey, that looked like it worked. And let's check by, look it, there's all our code. Right there. So yeah, that's it. That's how you use Git. I'm sure that was probably not the cleanest tutorial for you, and I do apologize. So, you know, basically, when you're working as a solo developer, you know, and you're not working with a huge team, you pretty much can be pretty linear with your, you know, you might only need the master branch. You may use a couple of different branches. If you start getting a little more complicated, you could do a development branch or production branch, or you could have a specific feature you're working on and have that be a branch. Then once it's complete, you could push it down to the master. But I mean, for our purposes, we're probably going to be fairly linear and just go on the master branch and just, you know, commit, and then, you know, push when we're ready to push it up to GitHub or whatever. Yeah, so this is a pretty basic intro to using version control and getting things in version control. Like I said, if I had done this at the beginning like we should have, I could have gone back to a previous commit after I recorded and realized there was no audio, and just started all over again. It would have been much easier. Anyway, I hope you guys are learning a lot, and yeah, let me know in the comments, you know, if you like this kind of organic, not really planned out, we'll learn together and figure it out. I hope you guys are learning that way. If not, let me know, and you know, I'll try doing something more planned out and polished. So yeah, see you guys next week.